Hey guys! Welcome to another Druid PoV with commentary. Today we are going to finish Wing 7 with Qadim The Peerless. Just a small disclaimer before we start, you have to remember that there are multiple ways of playing Druid. Every group is different, so always remember to adjust to your group level and needs. This is a commentary of my gameplay with some explanations of possible build choices. The footage that you will see will be from solo heal scenario in advanced static runs, as the main goal of this series is to maybe help you get your Druid gameplay to a more advanced level. This is one of my favorite fights to do as a Druid, and if you like to multitask, this is the perfect fight for you. If you want to be the epitome of compression, you should handle the following mechanics: tanking, CCing anomalies, providing stab or aegis for all the shockwaves, upkeeping good tethers and keeping bad tethers away in the last phase, keeping everyone alive and happy. For this fight I'm running Marksmanship trait line, mostly for Clarion Bond, which allows me to stack up wounds faster at the start of each phase. Moment of Clarity helps with CCing pylons and Qadim. It doesn't really help with anomalies because I usually use only pets to CC them, and as you may know from my previous videos, CC modifiers don't affect pet skills, but if you happen to, for example, throw a CA3 on anomaly, then it obviously helps. And the last trait here helps with faster wound ramp up. Nature magic is pretty standard. I'm taking Spirited Arrival for faster boon ramp up and Invigorating Bond for extra protection. And in Druid trait line I go with Druidic Clarity, which will help me cleanse myself from Vulm, Verdant Edging for prot, and as always Grace of the Land for alacrity. As my heal skill I like to take Healing Spring to help with cleanses, Sun Spirit for might, Glyph of Equality for CC on the pylon and for stability in later phases, Stone Spirit for aegis and protection, and Glyph of Stars for stability and emergency res. I'm running two CC pets, Gazelle and Wyvern, and the reason why I run those two is because apart from having a CC on their F2 skills, they also have CC in their auto attack chains, which means that you can solo CC the anomaly with just one pet, and then freely swap them back and forth for boons. However, one CC pet is enough, so you can switch one of those for something else, for example White Tiger, which can be useful in CM for extra aegis, or for a DPS pet like Lynx or Iboga. I am running my high toughness set with Monk Runes and Monk Relic, Axe, Warhorn and Staff with Transference and Parasigils, but if you want you can replace Axe with Sword for some easier tanking with Evade on Sword 3. Before we start, I want to quickly go over a few basics. In order to tank, you have to be the first one in Qadim's range with Special Action Key active. As a tank, you want to be as close to the stack as possible, so they are in range of your boons from glyphs, pet swap, CA5, etc. But at the same time, you don't want to hit the stack or pylons with Qadim's auto attacks, so you have to always be mindful of your positioning. Ideally, you want to tank in a way that players collecting orbs are not on a path of Qadim autos. You also have to remember that if you wipe and start the fight again, first orb drop position may change, depending on when you wiped previously, so you should adjust your first tanking spot accordingly. I usually tank on two same spots and just change between them depending on where the next ball will drop. Alright, now let's focus on the fight. Remember to activate your special action key before the fight starts. The first thing that you will do is CCing your pylon. I usually use Glyph of Equality, one pet and soft CC from Staff 4. Don't waste Call of the Wild for CC, as it's way more valuable as a boon source for your stack. After you cast your CCs, you can Staff 3 to the boss to be the first one there to get a fixation. You can cast Warhorn 5 for boons when everyone is running in, Stone Spirit for aegis for the shockwave, Sun Spirit for might, Pet Swap for lesser Warhorn 5, and then you have a short window where you can still stand together with the group before Qadim starts auto-attacking, so use this time to cast CA4 for might and alacrity, and then move out to your tanking position and continue with CA5. Qadim will do 3 auto attacks and then a carpet. You can dodge 2 of them and face tag the third, or if you play sword you can just evade the third one with sword 3. You will get some vulnerability stacks on you, but you will cleanse them when you enter CA next time. Now place a carpet in a way that it doesn't cover the orb drop spot. Your CA should be ready again when you are placing the carpet, so you can move to your second tanking spot while moving through the group with CA4 to refresh their might and alacrity. When you arrive on the new tanking spot, you can cast Sun Spirit again, CA5, look around and check on your pylons to see if anyone needs any healing, and then look at the boss's health bar. If you see 80% approaching, you should close your CA so you have it ready for the start of the next phase. I shouldn't have used my Stone Spirit here, because it will not be ready for the start of the next phase for Aegis, so I will use Glyph of Equality for stability for the Shockwave instead. Place your fire, use your pet and some other CCs for the pylon, and then again use stat 3 to the boss to get a fixation. As I said, I don't have Stone Spirit for Aegis, so I'm using Glyph of Equality for stability for the Shockwave. And then I repeat what I did in phase 1, and I can see we are past 75% mark, so I'm looking around for the first anomaly that should spawn now. As you can see, I already put my pet on passive, because it will be easier to control. The first anomaly is spawning on the south, so I target it, I send my pet there with F1, I wait for it to do its auto-attack CC, and then I use F2 to finish CC. I was focusing on anomaly, so I didn't realize we are phasing now, and I just opened my CA, and I will not be able to close it while I'm up placing the fire, so I'm just gonna keep it open and use it to CC the pylon. I'm also using my pet. Now I don't have much left for boons. This is why you really want to close it before you go up with fires. I can see one of my pylons is getting low on health. I don't have any CA skills to heal them up, but I have my staff, so I place staff 5 on them for some reason. They can blast it for some healing. Qadim is doing his arrow attack now, which means I don't have to tank for a while, so I'm using this time to go to the stack with CFR. And I can see the second anomaly is spawning west. I target the anomaly, I send my pet there with F1, wait for it to CC, and then I use F2 to finish. I heal everyone up and I'm using Glyph of Equality for stability here. And then I keep doing things until another mechanic happens. I'm placing my Stone Spirit here for Aegis for Qadim's charge attack. My Equality Glyph is ready again for another Shockwave. And here we have a small accident. One of the players went down and I didn't realize until it was too late. I was focused on Anomaly. I wanted to get closer to it so it's in range for my pet. I could have saved them probably with Glyph of Stars, but I didn't, so he's dead now. Unlucky. But thanks to his death, I can now use Glyph of Stars for stability for this Shockwave, because Equality is not up yet. Now I'm going to the middle, I have to be the first one here to get a fixation. I already cast my Stone Spirit on the group for Aegis for the Shockwave. And you can see I have 2 other people with me. They are baiting the bad tethers, and the 3 of us is going to keep them away from the group. This is important because bad tethers not only apply vulnerability on the player, but they also reduce the outgoing damage by 25%. And if you're going for a fast kill, you don't want that damage reduction on your DPS players. This means that I have to be as far as possible from the stack while not losing tank, which also means that from now on I'm only able to apply boons from range. It won't matter that much in our case, because the last phase is very fast, but if your last phase is longer, you may want to consider letting someone else tank, so we can stay on the group and provide all the boons from them. One thing that I forgot to mention is that I always try to cast my Stone Spirit for Aegis on the group when we have the expanding AoEs, which is especially important in this phase because there is not much space around them to move out with it. If I didn't have to use Glyph of Stars before for stability for the Shockwave, I would use it here and place it on the bad tether kiders for heals and cleanses. And this is also where Healing Spring is pretty useful. We have one more anomaly to deal with, but it shouldn't matter anyway because the fight will be over in seconds. That's it. It may seem a bit overwhelming at start, but I'm sure the more you practice, the more fun you will have at this boss. And now you can look at the fight again without my comments. Bye!
It feels like infinity. It feels like infinity. Look around, everything can weigh you down. Catch 22, like it's always next to you. The more problems I face, the more I feel that they multiply. Catch 22. 22, like it's always next to you. All of my problems, they feel like infinity. They feel like infinity. All of my problems, oh they can go to infinity. Oh they can go to infinity. Yeah. Feels like infinity. It feels like infinity. Building